Hey there. Chances are you have someone in your life you love who's an introvert. But let's be honest, sometimes their behavior can feel, well, a little mysterious, right? Today, we're going to get an insider's guide to the introverted mind. So let's pull back that curtain and figure out what's really going on in there.
So let me just ask you, have you ever gotten that text? You know the one I'm talking about. You've had plans locked in for weeks, you're getting excited, and then boom, a few hours before, your phone buzzes. So sorry, can't make it tonight. It's frustrating, isn't it? It can even feel a little personal.
But what if I told you that, like 9 times out of 10, it has absolutely nothing to do with you? Seriously, we're about to take a peek inside the internal operating system of an introvert, and I think it might just change how you see that cancellation text. Forever.
All right, so first up, let's get right to the heart of it all. We're going to decode what social energy really means, because this is the real truth behind those canceled plans.
See, here's the thing. When your introverted friend says yes to an invitation, they mean it. In that moment, the idea of hanging out with you sounds genuinely great. They value you, they want to see you, and the plan sounds fun. The intention is 100% there.
But then, the clock starts ticking. As the event gets closer, something called lead-up anxiety can start to creep in. Now, this isn't some clinical disorder. It's more like this growing feeling of dread as their social battery just starts to drain, and they haven't even left the house yet. The whole idea of all that interaction just starts to feel overwhelming.
And this is where we have to reframe it. That text message you got, it's not them rejecting you. It's them throwing themselves a life raft. The second they hit send, that feeling of dread gets washed away by this huge wave of relief. It's really just an act of self-preservation, a way to recharge.
Okay, so we've cracked the code on canceling. Now let's move on to another big point of confusion: silence. What is actually going on when your introverted friend gets quiet in the middle of a conversation? I promise you, it's probably not what you think.
So this is where there's this huge disconnect between what we see on the outside and what's happening on the inside. You might see their silence and think they're bored or maybe even judging you, but internally, their mind is firing on all cylinders. That silence is actually them deep processing everything. When they look distant, they're often listening more intently than anyone else. What you might think is them being uninterested is actually them just observing. And that look of judgment? Nah, that's just them taking a moment to put together a really thoughtful response before they speak.
So, the key here, the really crucial point, is that their silence isn't empty, it's full. It is an active state of thinking and processing and trying to understand the world on a much deeper level. They are not checked out. If anything, they are profoundly checked in.
And this all brings us to the real core of it. Once you get the whole social energy thing and what silence really means, the way forward is actually pretty simple. It all boils down to one simple but really powerful idea: acceptance.
Look, at the end of the day, this is what your introverted friend wishes you knew. They really need you to get that when they cancel, it's about their energy, not about your friendship. They hope you'll see their quiet moments as them being thoughtful, not critical. But I think most of all, they just need you to accept this as a real, fundamental part of who they are, not some kind of flaw that needs to be fixed.
And this is so important to remember. This isn't just a phase they're going through. It's not shyness they're going to magically get over one day. It is a core part of their personality. It's just how they're wired to be in the world. And that's not going to change.
And that right there, that's the bottom line. The goal is never to try and turn an introvert into an extrovert. The goal is just to understand them, to meet them where they are, and to really appreciate the incredible depth and thoughtfulness they bring into your life. So, I'll leave you with this question. The next time your friend sends that cancellation text, or the next time they get quiet in a group, what are you going to think? Now that you've had this little peek behind the curtain, how might it change the way you connect with the introverts in your own life? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.